when the Sony Marvel Defender cannot defend this one, says a lot, my friends. Hey everyone, welcome back to Candid Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing the new Sony Marvel film, Madame Web. I have defended the SPUMC universe, the SSU, whatever you want to call it, since Venom. I loved Venom. I give grace to Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I even gave grace to Morbius because I do think that they're going against the grain and they're giving us different characters. They're giving us a different style of comic book movies. And I really enjoyed those films for what they were. Are they good? They're not great, but they're still enjoyable and they're fun because of the characters, because of the power sets on screen. I think that's the one thing that was so great about Morbius, is how interesting his powers are. And I think that visually they did bring that to the table. I think they did that extremely well in Morbius, apart from the storyline not being the greatest or the strongest and the villain being weak. Shout out to Matt Smith dancing. He's great. But for me, it comes down to, if the movie is bad, but still entertaining, I'm not going to say that it's a horrible film, because there's some form of entertainment in Venom, you know, obviously with Eddie Brock and with the symbiote himself and that pairing and their relationship. I think that's what carries the film constantly. But when there are no elements of fun, the power sets for the characters aren't used to full extent, and it's not funny, there's no strong action sequences, you get Madame Web. And I have been a Sony Marvel defender for a very long time. You guys know me. But Madame Web truly just shattered me. And I hate that I have to say that this is the worst one, because I hate that it's the all-female cast one that finally broke the camel's back for me. None of it's good. None of it's good. None of it's enjoyable. Dakota Johnson tries. She tries with a terrible script. The dialogue is absolutely cringe. And it feels like a 2000s movie, but not in the fun, good 2000s movie that I had thought it would have been like. You know, like the throwback 2000s comic book films. Like I was waiting for like a cheesy Fantastic Four type of situation. That didn't happen. I did not like this storyline. I think there was potential for it to be really strong if they went a different route. And because you have Mary Parker in this story, you have Ben Parker in this story, bless you, Adam Scott, there's something there. You have a pregnant Mary Parker. She's pregnant. Guess with who? Other than our good old boy Peter, right? So the focus was on protecting three girls who eventually get their spider powers, instead of protecting an unborn Peter Parker. That was a mistake. And you have almost 4 people writing this script, and it was staring you right in the face. Especially if you can't mention Peter Parker. I completely get if you can't mention him. Use the likeness of him. I get it. That's a perfect story waiting for you right there. This was an origin to Madame Web. And there's not much to her story. So I would have preferred, and again, I say this with every comic book film, when you have these powers that it's easier to show when they're at full power, i.e. Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange has some incredible powers that can be shown on screen, and they spent more time building his character up when I would have just wanted him at full power. I just need characters who have like Captain Marvel, who have like incredible power sets, to just be at full power. Show me. I don't care how they get their powers, because it takes 2 seconds for them to get their powers. You know what I mean? And we know that they're going to be a hero. I get that. Maybe I'm tired of an origin story, but with Madame Web, it's like she can see into the future. Maybe not drag that entire thing out for the whole film, you know. And while watching this, she has flashbacks to her mother. She has you know, a misunderstanding, thinking that her mother hated her and that's why she didn't care that when she was pregnant, you know, she went to the Amazon to study these spiders and all of that. Like, it was a different perspective, and that was such a pivotal moment towards the end of the film when she does go back to Peru and she finds that her mother was going there to actually help save her because she had a debilitating condition before she was even born, and her mother found out, so she went to the Amazon. And it's like, that's all great, could have been done halfway through this film, and then focus on the unborn Peter Parker. I'm rewriting this. I shouldn't be rewriting this because I'm looking at it for what it is, and there's nothing to say about this film. I'm having even trouble writing a review for this. There's nothing to say about it. It's like it goes through the motions. We have a really one-note villain with terrible ADR, terrible like sound mixing, terrible like editing and like camera movements. Like, I just couldn't understand why it was executed in this way. I don't get it. I don't get it, because there is something here with Madam Web. And it bothers me because you even have the three girls that you cast. You have freaking Sydney Sweeney in this, Isabella Marcid, okay? You have Celeste O'Connor. The three of them have great chemistry among them, okay? With a terrible script. They tried their best, these three, okay? And I thought they were really strong. And we only see them in costume like twice. Their costumes, phenomenal. No wonder it cost $80 million. Okay, those costumes look so freaking good, and you don't even have enough screen time with them, which absolutely boggles me because I wanted more of that. Why do I care that Madam Web is protecting these three girls from Ezekiel? Because he had a vision at the beginning of this film that he was going to die by these three Spider Women. I don't care. I don't care. They tried their best to form a bond of like these lost souls that these women have to stick together. And I almost wish that like we got more of that. There's no emotional connection to the three of them. And it comes down to acting, and it's poor acting at the same time. It's like no one cared to be on this set. Maybe Celeste O'Connor, but no one cared to be on this set. It felt like no one cared. Scene after scene after scene. Like, people are saying like Dakota Johnson tried. I don't think she did. And it's really hard to care about characters if the actors themselves don't care about the characters that they're playing. Like, sure, they can sell it on the press tour, but in the end, like, they were giving nothing in this movie for me to care. And I wanted to. That's the issue. I wanted to so badly be like, you guys are like going way off. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Like I've said with Venom and Let There Be Carnage and Morbius, and there was some sort of redeeming qualities. But here it's like, you had something. She can be at different places at the same time and save people, creating her web. Like, that's the whole point. That's how strong her mind is. And you don't show it until the last 5 minutes of this film. Do you know how sick the fighting could have been? Do you know how crazy awesome the action sequences could have been if they just showed her powers halfway through the film instead of making a detective film? I don't mind that, but at least execute it properly. Of course, it was repetitive with little information being shown because you can see the future. I get it, believe me. But the action scenes, she can foresee what's about to happen. Her telling us and then showing it just didn't work. There's a disconnect. It was very awkward. There was a lot of dead air. The action scenes were just not good. They were not good because she can't fight. So this like hero that they're making her out to be, she can't fight. And I understand like the whole point is through her mind, but again, it would have been better if she was in the chair, completely blind, guiding these three girls who actually have really sick powers, and we only saw a little bit of it. They could have done this in a very different way. So I'm giving Madam Web a 1 out of 5. Wasn't funny. wasn't enjoyable. Okay, at least if it's a bad film and you still laugh, it's entertaining. I was sitting there getting pissed off more and more because there was a certain direction that this could have gone in, which would have been 10 times better than what we got. And when Dakota Johnson was in the suit, at the end of it, it was laughable. Because the Madam Web that we have in our minds is that she is a gray old lady. Her hair's wrapped in a bun. She has her glasses on and she's sitting in that chair, but she actually looks menacing enough that, you know, it's believable. Here, they didn't change her hair. The glasses were laughable. And then the actual chair was also laughable, the way that she was moving around. Okay. So it just didn't make any sense. And then her in the suit didn't look good because the rest of their suits were absolutely gorgeous. And then hers was just not it. So I just think they tried to add these like sentimental, emotional moments between like mothers and daughters and sisterhood and friendship and all of that. And it just did not land. So yes, Madam Web is a 1 out of 5. Compared to what I have given Venom and Let There Be Carnage and Morbius, this is, in fact, the worst one. And when the Sony Marvel Defender cannot defend this one, says a lot, my friends. So please let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed Madam Web. What would you have done differently in Madam Web, and how you would rank the SPUMC movies that have come out. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And if you guys want to help me grow this wonderful channel, you can find ways to do that in the bio below. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.